Hi everyone, this is Dave from Pandora Prime Recon, and as promised, I'm doing a box review of the Warhammer WarCry Swords of Retribution expansion set. This is the second product I've opened for the WarCry CCG, and I'm just going to be giving you a run through of the commons, uncommons, the rares, any cool things or interesting things I've noticed when I was opening the box. The first interesting thing I noticed is that there's this weird kind of residue that came out on the packs and was on the cards themselves. I don't know if you can kind of see it here. Maybe one of these booster packs can show you a little better. It's like this weird stuff, and I think it's residue from the cards, either from the printing or the cutting, something during the production process. And it happens to be in every pack, which is kind of weird. It's like, I don't think it's anything disgusting, but it's definitely, not ideal. And that kind of leads me to my second point, is that with the uncommons in this set, it definitely varies where they appeared in every pack and how many appeared in each pack. I think the normal amount for a WarCry pack is 2 uncommons per pack. Usually it showed up in the first card in each pack, but that was definitely not always the case. I think I remember opening one pack where there are no uncommons at all, which was really weird. But I definitely noticed a variation. So you'd get between 1 and 3 uncommons every pack, which is kind of odd. And I almost thought I kind of got stiffed when I was opening packs. There are 40 packs, so I should have gotten 40 rares. And I was kind of freaking out because my last pack I opened as my last card. I'm just pulling this out now. But I opened this card, which is Dockenrock Whitebeard. And he was the last card in my last pack. And if you can see, he only has 2 dots, which means he should be an uncommon. But I checked the card list. He's actually rare. It's a misprint. And if you look at the rules for this guy, he's pretty strong. He definitely does not look like an uncommon. So I'm pretty confident that it's just a misprint. I didn't get ripped off, so I'm pretty happy about that. So let me just flip you through the commons. I'll just show you some of the kind of cards that are in the set. So there are definitely a number of common characters. Characters are kind of attachments that you put on your units, and there weren't that many in the base set that I opened, but there seems to be a number for each faction in this. So again, it looks like the original factions in the base WarCry CCG set were represented well. So you've got Chaos, specifically Nurgle for this set, but you see there's like Dark Elves, Greenskins, and then a whole bunch of actions. And so one of the things that I want to point out in this set, and probably it's kind of an indicator of WarCry CCG as a whole, is that there are a lot of action cards. And this is a good thing because it means that you can build a whole lot of decks, because action cards can be used by any faction as long as it has that green neutral border. So there's a lot of cards here, which makes sense because action cards are essentially half of your deck, as being 30 of the 60 total cards that you will play during a game. But as you can see here, there's like a lot of action cards. And that kind of leads to like the other flip side, is that, when you want to open cards of a card game, at least for me, I like opening the really cool like units and monsters and soldiers and stuff like that. Like these guys, like this is a common neutral card. It's a dog of war, so it's, a fight for any side. But look how cool this guy is. He's only a common, but like he does something pretty cool too, is that he can, give your units terror with spell points. He gives spell points too. So, I find a card like this so much cooler than, just a random action. The artwork is good, but there's no like resonance, I would say. You understand what it's like when you open a dragon, because dragons are awesome. But, it's kind of like the Star Wars CCG in a sense, where Star Wars CCG had a lot of, effects and interrupts that represented, different things. But I think a lot of people resonate more towards the characters and the starships and the weapons. So that's one thing I noticed, just as a collector. I think it's like the individual Warhammer units that I find much more appealing, and so that's why I'd like to talk about them a little bit more than just like the action cards. So again, you see a bunch of neutral stuff. So again, fortifications, things that help out your battle line but don't actually fight. Again, another guy, Sabertooth here. I don't know what faction he would be from, or what race he's from. Well, I guess he's a human, but I don't know which civilization he's from, I would say. Cool. So Dwarves are one of my favorite. And it seems like a lot of dwarf cards are based around certain synergies with like war machines or fortifications or putting attachments on your units and getting bonuses for that. Again, there's an organ gun that's pretty cool. I like the range mechanic in this game. It's more very artillery based, where instead of just throwing things outright, you incapacitate them, and while they're incapacitated, you can finish them off. Again, character attachments. And then here's kind of the featured faction of the set is Kislev, the Empire faction, and I'll show some more cards later. But I kind of like the feel of Kislev. And that's one of the cool things about Empire in Warhammer Fantasy is that they have all these different civilizations that have very distinct looks, kind of based on different European and otherwise factions, I guess, in real life. But yeah, again, High Elves, another one of my favorites. Okay, that's all the commons. So going to the uncommons. There's some cool guys here. Oh, I really like this artwork. It's like kind of thematic of, Chaos Warriors. They all look suitably nasty. This is like strangely adorable looking to me. Like, look at this guy, like little bulbous eyes. They look so harmless. Oh, that guy's kind of gross though. He looks super angry. But yeah, Nurglings. And then, iconic Plaguebeard. These guys look a lot more menacing than how Plaguebeards usually look, I think. But yeah, again, Nurgle theme, got some Cold Blood Knights. Yeah, I gravitate a lot towards, especially the uncommon units in this game, because I think they do some cool things, and they all look pretty cool. Again, all right, so here come the action cards. Like, I'm not gonna slam action cards. Like, you definitely need them, to play the game, and there are a lot of cool things you can do to boost up your units and stuff like that. But like, imagine if this artwork was on, a unit card. I think it'd be more resonant, I think, than just being, just an artwork on an action card. Like, action cards I don't think they really click with people as much as, seeing the units that you're used to playing on the tabletop or whatnot. Just going through the uncommons here. Again, like I said, there are a lot of action cards in this set, and I guess in WarCry in general. So if you decide to collect, or you're already playing, that's something to keep a note of when you pick up product wherever you may find it. Okay. See, this guy's even cool, like a generic ogre mercenary unit, but he's got a name. He's like he'll fight in battle. I think I like that part of and it's kind of a throwback to Magic too. Like, Magic kind of gets that part right, where you have certain monsters and creatures, and you get definitely a feel of how powerful they are, and I think collectors really gravitate towards that. Again, this is Dwarves with synergies for attachments. I really like this artwork. And then Kislev units, also like this. This kind of style is pretty cool to me. It's like a semi-comic book style, but it's got quite a bit of volume and depth to it, which I like. Again, more Kislev units, a lot of Kislev units. I really like this guy, Eldorian Brightwood, because I'm actually, I'm building a High Elves deck, and so I think his ability, it seems pretty neat as a Warcry, just basically trade spell points for unit strength to boost up your units. So I think that guy's pretty cool. And speaking of High Elves, range attack, super cool bolt thrower. I definitely want to try this out in my deck. So quickly, let's just move along let's briefly touch on the puzzle pieces. So each pack, again, comes with gold cards, but on the other side are also puzzle pieces. And unfortunately, I couldn't finish any of the pieces. I believe they're all 3x3, so 9 cards total to finish the artwork. And I don't believe I was able to finish any of them, except for, I'll show you the last one, but just to show you all the artwork puzzle pieces that are in this set. Now, the part you've been waiting for is the rares. So again, there are 40 rares. I put them all into this binder here, just so you can see them all. One I wanted to point out was this guy, so you can see him, Call from the Decayed. So it's this massive, I guess, Nurgle Beast of Chaos, I suppose. But if you look here, basically what it amounts to is that you can only play this guy during a battle. You can't play any other guys, any other units, because if you do, before you play this guy, they're all destroyed. You can probably put attachments on him, but the point is that he can't do anything. But if he survives, you get a whole bunch of victory points, which will likely win you the battle. So your opponent has to do everything they can to try and kill this guy because he can't do anything himself, and you have no other units. But if he doesn't die, you'll probably win the battle. So I think that's a pretty cool, pretty flavorful mechanic. I really like this. Like, I don't know how viable it is, but it seems pretty cool. In terms of super rares, the foils, I believe I got 6 in this box, 6 or 7. So I think they fall between 1 every 6 packs or 1 every 7 packs. Again, I don't know how strong these guys are, but again, it's pretty flavorful. It's another one over here. Again, actions. I hope you like actions. There are a lot of them. I think it amounts to basically half the box being actions. And again, there's some cool ones, but you know, like I said, it's not as resonant, I think, as, you know, characters and units. Again, just give you a look at some of these other ones. I like the high elf ones. And sorry, my camera arm getting in the way here, but I want to show you, I got 2 copies of, I think you'd call her kind of the marquee card of this set, is Zarina Katarin. And seems like a pretty strong card. So she's a wizard, makes sense. And as a Warcry, you can basically blow up the enemy unit that she's facing. And then if it fails the strength test and dies, then you can have it take a route check, which means you can make a follow-up attack without even, you know, having to fight the original unit. So it's kind of flavorful for who she is. And yeah, I got 2 of them, which is kind of odd because I actually got doubles of 2 rares. I think the other rare was this guy, Grimjaw's Flying Cannon. So I got 2 of him as well. So I guess collation is maybe an issue because I didn't expect to get, you know, doubles of rares. But again, this was the first rare that I opened in the last video. So I'll bring you to the last part of this video, which is the puzzle piece artwork that I almost finished was this guy. So it's Malice Darkblade. I think he's on one of the commons in this set, one of the common action cards, but I was so hoping I would be able to get that last piece, but I didn't. I don't know if anyone out there might have an extra one. I feel like it's going to be really hard to find, but I have 8 of 9 of this. This is the closest I got to finishing a piece of art with 1 booster box, and so it's kind of sad. Hopefully maybe in the future I'll be able to get the last one, but yeah, otherwise this is a pretty fun set to open. I like seeing, you know, all the different original factions. I was hoping in a future, you know, product to see something like Tomb Kings or Skaven, because I don't have any of those cards yet, but I have plenty of the original factions. So this is probably quite a bit to get started with, like, you know, building new decks. So I'm really excited to do that. Again, that's my box review for the Warhammer WarCry Swords of Retribution expansion set. If you like this stuff, if you like out-of-print Warhammer card games, feel free to check out my blog. It's called Pandora Prime Recon. You can visit at pandoraprimerecon.com. It's mainly about the Warhammer 40,000 CCG that Sabertooth Games made, but, you know, like this YouTube channel, I'll occasionally veer off into other card games produced by Sabertooth or relating to Warhammer. Yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again next time.